Welcome.
That was terrible. That's the opening.
Yeah, for real.
Take a fantasy, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about. 561 Music!
Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
How's it going, Hector?
It's going well. I'm finally getting my voice back, more or less.
Yeah. No, now you've just got that little husky radio voice.
It just
You got
makes
a bit
me,
of vocal
just
fry.
makes me sound very, very radio-esque.
So, tell me, what was the most exciting thing that happened to you this weekend?
I went to KFC
Okay.
and I got a chicken sandwich. And that was about it. Oh, I mean, I did play a prop on Saturday.
Yeah.
Nina's yard party. And,
Yeah.
and we did become Fishbone for the night for Angela Moore, but that wasn't a big deal, right? That wasn't a big deal.
I had so much fun with that. It was crazy. I didn't know what to expect, but we rolled with the punches. We got there.
Man, you said earlier that it was a bucket list item that you finally got to check off, like a bucket list box that you got to check off. And for me, it was a bucket list box that I didn't even know I had that I got to check off, you know?
Yeah. It's
Like I checked it off and then I'm like, man, I'm glad that came up.
So to Fishbone, I will say, thank you so much for letting us play your songs without you. And I think we took care of Angelo. Okay, she'd come back in one piece.
Yeah. And mad respect to all of you guys, because those were not easy songs.
No, exactly.
But it was fun. It was very fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we had a gig too. We played at the Green Market, didn't we?
We did. We played, we were out really late on Saturday with the Fishbone thing. And then Sunday morning, bright and early, 7:30, we were at the Gardens Green Market setting up. And then we played 9 to 1. And that was fun.
Yeah, it's always fun, that one.
Yeah.
I got to say, like, to say I had sleep is definitely just like a bit of an exaggeration. I laid down.
I think
that's about as far as it goes.
by the time I got home, showered, laid down, and the alarm went off, I there may have been like a 2-hour span. Maybe there was a 2-hour span.
Yeah. No, it was brutal.
It was brutal.
It's cool though. I mean, not like we haven't done anything like that before. It's fun.
The Sunday Green Markets, man, they're fun gigs, but
And there's one thing I wanted to say about
9 a.m.
for
for musicians is rough.
The difference between playing like at a punk show to a bunch of punks playing ska punk and just jumping around all over the place and going nuts, and then going to like a really nice upmarket Green Market, the unbelievable hour in the morning.
So chill.
It just felt like different world.
Oh, so chill.
Yeah.
So chill.
It was just the weirdest like juxtaposition of gigs I could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have made it more so is if we'd gone to church, maybe. That would be another. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was always a lot of fun. That place is always fun, man. There's like such good food there. And it's just so much fun. Yeah.
No doubt about it, man. They gave us loads of vegetables to take home.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, there's that.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I love
You're
vegetables.
a non-vegetable eater. Anyhow, we have Kiara Binah with us today. How's it going?
Hi, it's going good. How are you guys?
Yeah, really good. Thanks so much for coming on. So I'd like to know a little bit more about you. So why don't we start off with how did you first find yourself becoming a musician? Like, what was the first, when you were young, like, what was the thing that you feel kind of sparked you into doing that?
Well, I think the first thing that sparked me into any sort of musical lesson was my dad, because he put me in piano lessons. He wanted me to do something artistic and something athletic. So I was in basketball and piano.
Yeah.
And my piano lessons were going very terribly. And my teacher was at the time completing like a PhD for opera and like minoring in like teaching children how to sing. So she decided to switch it to singing lessons instead of piano lessons.
Oh, there you go.
So I started off with like opera when I was younger. And from there, I was switched into like an artistic elementary school.
Yeah.
And then I went to an art middle school.
There you
vocal.
go.
And then in high school, I went to for a scholarship for musical theater.
Oh, brilliant.
Now, was this UB Kinsey and Bach?
It was Bach and Plumosa.
And Plumosa.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those schools are great, and I know you have your daughter is at
my
Dreyfus. Right?
Well, she just graduated Dreyfus. Yeah. And my sister's the executive director of the foundation at Bach.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so she's always pushing the arts.
Yeah, that's really cool. I never went to like an arts focused school, but I don't know if they even existed around where I was. But we did have a pretty good. We had a pretty good music department. It was big enough where you could pretty much spend all of your time in there and it would absorb you. So I was lucky in that way.
It's funny times though, man. Like it feels like if you are not in a specific school like a Bach or a Dreyfus or something where it's very arts oriented, that you almost don't have an opportunity to do that kind of stuff. I feel like a lot of the art programs and a lot of the music programs and all that stuff are just being cut from regular schools.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that with Angelo, weren't we?
And that's just a fact. I mean, it's a hard truth, but it's the truth, man. It's sad.
No, it is terribly sad. So, so singing became your main thing. And outside of singing, do you play any other instruments?
Well, now I can play piano a little bit, so I can accompany myself. And I'm actually taking the guitar classes right now.
Nice one.
Yeah, I'm taking them at Guitar Center.
Okay.
Okay.
I really love my guitar teacher, and my fingers hurt every day, but
Yeah.
I love it.
You get there eventually. You just have to build up the calluses. They come, don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
So of course we have to ask then. So you take lessons once a week for the guitar?
Once a week. Yeah.
So do you practice?
Yes,
Okay.
I practice. Actually,
You'd be surprised how many people say no when we ask that question.
oh my gosh, I did go. My
included.
second class, I went to my guitar class, and the first thing that he always asks is, "Did you practice?"
Yeah.
And I said no, because the second week I was just so swamped with whatever I was swamped with. I don't know what happened, but I'm always pretty honest if I don't practice. So,
well, I think you got to be, because otherwise, if you're lying to your teacher, ultimately you're lying to yourself. That's the truth of it. So I've been teaching for many years now, and when people practice, just a view from the other side of it, it makes me so happy. It makes me like, it changes the whole mood of the lesson and even the day, because it's like, it makes you feel like they respect your time. You know what I mean? And when you feel like that, it just, I don't know.
I mean, I'm notorious for not practicing, and I practiced last week for that Angelo Moore fishbone thing.
Yeah, that's
and I was
true.
so happy.
Yeah. No,
I think I first started practicing so much when I was auditioning for Bach. I had to be close to the microphone. I forgot. So I remember going home every day and practicing for 4 hours singing.
there you go. Wow.
Yeah. And I had a dog at the time, and my dog loved when I was singing. And I just loved singing for 4 hours alone, so you can imagine how I feel singing for people. Like it's so awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So did your dog used to howl along with you? I once had a
Yes.
dog.
He would howl along with me and then cry when I'd stop singing and stuff.
Yeah. My dog Lucky used to do that. She used to even like kind of try and follow the pitches a little bit. She was really cool. She wouldn't nail it, obviously, but she tried. But if she could nail it, then I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be like a billionaire. But...
Billionaire with a favorite dog.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe I would still be sitting here. I like to think I'd be doing this if I was a billionaire, and just because I like doing it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd be on a yacht somewhere, and I'd be like calling you on the phone and be like, "How's the podcast going?"
So, is there anyone in your life you would say that has been a real motivator for you to take your music seriously? Is there have you had any sort of I can't even think, what's the word when someone's very encouraging? Mentors. There have been any the important mentors?
Huh. Well, I don't know. When I think of the word mentor, I think of somebody who's done it before.
Yeah.
But for somebody who would motivate me to do music, I would say that's my dad.
Okay.
He's not a musician at all. He was a soccer player. In fact, nobody in my family's. Well, actually, I have some family in the UK that
cool.
sings and stuff. My cousin Catherine is an opera singer, and I have some uncles in a sea shanty band. But
nice.
Yeah. Anyways,
That's actually pretty awesome.
the person, my dad has always been one to motivate me and say, you have to choose one thing and be excellent at it. And once you know what excellence is, then you can decide whether you want to go that route or quit. So when I was younger, I wanted to be the first person in the WNBA and on Broadway.
Right.
And then in high school, I realized that it was kind of it was very hard to do both. I was waking up at 5 a.m. and working out and then doing my rehearsals until 10 p.m. for theater. And I was just like burnt out. And I mean, I guess I could have done both, but I didn't really have the passion for basketball that I did for music. Yeah. So I think I got to a level where if I wanted to quit music today, I could, I know
what you mean. You tested, saw what the limits are a little bit.
Yeah, and I did the same thing with basketball when I went to a pre-professional training program in Spain. Yeah. And so I got to see what the lifestyle would be like. Yeah. And actually, while I was at a cathedral in Spain, there was this musician playing outside, and I was like, man, I hate waking up from 9 a.m. and working out till like 9 p.m. I need to perform, So I went up to her and I asked her if I can perform, and I sang Zombie, and from that point on, I was like, I'm quitting basketball.
No, I think that's great. The first thing that's great is that you've had an opportunity to try both of them to a high level and been doing that. But the thing that is most great, in my opinion, is that you chose music. Because that is what I'm all about. In my life, the decisions were never about music or something else. They were music, like one instrument or another instrument. Oh. That's just like that's all. And I ended up choosing all of them like an idiot. And I used
pretty much all of them.
I used to have an accompanist, who was always warning me about being a jack of all trades, master of none. It's kind of the thing you were talking about before, and I didn't take her advice really. Now I'm just a kind of like I'm like a jack of all trades, but quite good at the trades. Like not.
I would say you're jack of all trades, master of quite a few of them. To be honest with you, man.
I didn't realize before I started saying that I was fishing for a compliment, but now I say.
But now you.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask something, and you threw my train of thought.
Sorry.
Threw my train of thought.
So, in terms of musical style, would you say that you have found?
That is actually the exact question I was just gonna ask.
Have you found a musical style? If not, it's totally fine. And if you have, what was the influence on that? How did you find yourself going that route?
The answer is no. I haven't found a musical style. Like I said, I went to these art schools, and when you major in vocal, you have to be in choir and take a bunch of music theory classes, do juries, singing classical songs. Yeah. And so when I was singing for hours a day, I was training my voice to sing opera and classically and folk songs. And so I'm finding it, well, it's not hard now, but it was way harder when I was transitioning into high school and I realized I wanted to do musical theater, to sing in such a contemporary style because I was so classically trained. Yeah. And so no, I was kind of just stuck in a classical place. Yeah. This is jingling. And I was stuck in a classical place, and I didn't realize that there were other options.
Sure.
And so when COVID hit and the schools were like shut down, I was like, okay, now I have to figure out what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. So I actually wrote my first song, Lame, and put it on YouTube and just to see what happens. And I really loved the process. And then from then on, I went to high school. I did musical theater. I've been training contemporary style singing. Yeah. And I'm finding out a lot about how the voice works and stuff. And I just love the whole science behind how to sing. So
yeah, for sure. It's I'm interested to hear you talk about it a little bit. Do you think that you would be able to explain how the diaphragm affects the voice and how the vocal cords and these spaces affect the voice? Have you got any wise words on that?
When you're singing classically, you have to lift the soft palate, and you go into a kind of, when you're in your lower register, which usually in pop you'd stay in your chest voice, but in classical singing it kind of sits in your mixed voice, which is a term that is used very loosely in many different ways. Yeah. And so mixed voice can mean very different things. It can mean belting healthily, and everything is in air quotes because I don't feel like
it's such a weird. It's such a weird science because it almost isn't one. It's like there's a lot of like fuzzy edges.
A little bit of that.
It's it's so weird. Like your voice it doesn't go chest, mix, head. It's one vocal one throat. Like you can't just switch throats.
No, totally.
Yeah. So my teacher that I have now, we're learning about how Joe Estel researched the voice. And Joe Estel was this woman who basically disproved the statement that belting is bad for you.
Right. Yeah, great.
Because belting is just, it is yelling. That's what it is. It's just yelling healthily and building that muscle over time. So she came up with with about, I think it was like 5 or 7 different ways you can use your voice. And basically it all comes down to, are your vocal cords thick or are they thin? And when they're thin, it's breathier and in a higher place. And when they're thick, you're in your chest voice.
Yeah.
And you can bring that in different notes of your register.
Yeah.
And it can be healthy in many different ways. So
yeah. No, that's interesting. And as someone who teaches voice, not as the main thing I teach, but I do quite often, and also has sung all my life, I found it to be a minefield of misinformation and confusion when you go out there and try and figure out what's going on. It's just all over the place. So I totally relate to what you're saying that earlier, and I'll definitely be looking up that person. Who was that again?
Joe Estel.
Joe Estel.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you're teaching kids how to sing, it's important that it's important that I tell them, healthy ways to belt and healthy ways to scream and stuff like that. But I just, there's always with this caveat that if you're doing that kind of thing, you are playing with fire a little bit,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like a 100% definitely healthy way to scream. It's just screaming. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy though. Like I know for me, if I'm singing something and I'm screaming it out, like I can't talk the next day.
Yeah.
But then you have people like James, our banjo player.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, there are definitely healthier ways to do it. That's for sure.
And he just does it,
Yeah.
and he's perfectly fine. Like it's crazy how he belts that stuff out.
Yeah. There's all this stuff like you make false chords with your vocal cords and things like that to create the 2 notes. That's actually something interesting. Do you know what Melodyne is?
No, I don't.
So Melodyne is a program that you can use for pitch correction, and it's like the industry standard one that everyone uses for pitch correction in recording. And when my friend James's voice goes into it, especially when he's doing the real growly stuff. Yeah. There's, instead of there just being one note, you can see the whole chord that he's created in his voice. You can see like 3 different lines of thing, and so he's almost unpitch correctable because it's just like the thing doesn't know what to make of it. It's hilarious.
That's so cool.
Yeah, totally. Have you messed around with like any stuff like the harmonics of your voice and stuff like that?
Not really. I mean, I think a few years ago, I realized I can sing my whistle tones. So I released like a few covers, like with me singing my whistle register.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And that's pretty much as far as I've gone with my harmonics of my voice.
No, it's interesting. And just in terms of like how much you're focused on singing. And it's something that when I was younger, I wish I'd done more of, is just, really exploring that. It's because the voice is you,
Mm-hmm.
The voice is the reason why a lot of people get like scared to perform it is because there is just nothing to hide behind,
Yeah.
It's just you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And I think that's what's most wonderful about it as well.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why I chose music over basketball, because because of the community, you can be that vulnerable. And well, I guess basketball, you have your team that supports you, but I just love the science behind everything. I don't know.
I get it.
So you've done you've been writing some stuff on your own and stuff. Well, first of all, actually, what's your writing process if you have one?
Mm-hmm. Well, for Lame, I wrote a few songs before I released my actual first song, and my writing process for that one was basically I was pretending to be in a band with my 2 cousins.
Right.
And so we'd write songs together, And I'd always be the one that's like, come on, guys, we have to do this. We have to rehearse and make a video. And I was taking our playtime very seriously.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah. But in COVID, I was just sitting one day and I was like, oh, I really like this melody. Like, and I feel really lame right now. So I was like, I'm so lame. Gotta be the same. And I just wrote this song and I can't remember. Yeah, I released it like 2 weeks later or something.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. It was really fun. And at the time, like the person I was living with was like, oh, this is such a great song. And he was playing it the whole time. And it was my stepbrother. And everyone in my home loved it and I loved it. And I think it really touched on how you feel as a teenager, like really out of place. But by the end of the song, it's we're so great, you know.
Aw,
Got it
that
just
was
for you.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in the mix, just for you. So
how did I Miss You Like Crazy come about?
so my cousin Renee plays the violin and
Yeah.
she sent me it doesn't even happen at all in the song, but
Right.
she sent me this beautiful like melody that she made up and I wrote some chords to that, and then it was the intro to a song that starts with like I forgot what it started with, but I think it was I Miss You Like Crazy, or it was something with the chorus. And so from there I looked for producers. I looked for producers on Fiverr because I was cheap and quick.
There's amazing stuff.
Fair enough.
It's not like we've never searched through Fiverr for stuff.
I've been on both sides of the coin for Fiverr. I've been Fiverr and I've hired Fiverr.
Extra Fiverr at the end.
Active Fiverr, yeah.
So I got a producer to produce the. Oh, I forgot to say how the lyrics came about. So I was on the car drive. Yeah. So I was on a car drive with my dad, and I was like, "Oh, I have this song that I really want to finish because I like the melody." And it wasn't about food before, and it just ended up being about food because I guess it started with missing somebody into missing places and missing Trinidad. And I love to travel. I love like experiencing different cultures and just everything about that whole experience. And most of when you travel is trying the different foods, I would say. So I mean, yeah. So the song ended up being about like missing foods from different places.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So in terms of Trinidad, how were you born in Trinidad? Or did you
no, so I was born in Miami.
Right.
I only stayed here for about 2 weeks when I was younger, and then I lived in Trinidad for 2 years.
Gotcha.
And I go back to visit very often, I would say.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, man. There's somewhere I've never been, but I'm super jealous and would love to go. And you can definitely hear the Caribbean influence in the song I Miss You Like Crazy as well. It's got like a reggaeton beat, and it's awesome. Was that intentional? Did you go into it wanting it to sound like that?
So when I was listening to my cousin's melody, it wasn't, first of all, it's completely different from her melody now. It's just evolved into that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but when I was listening to my cousin's melody, it was going to be a very sad, emotional song because that's what I love to sing.
Yeah.
And then I was performing for Diversity Day at my school.
Yeah.
And I sang this Afrobeat, and my friends were like, I didn't know you had an accent.
Right.
But I mean, I thought it was like important to bring a different perspective, different cultures to, you know, my friends and the people close to me. Yeah. And because it's part of who I am, I thought I should release at least one soca Afrobeat kind of song. So
sure.
That's what happened.
No, that's awesome. You know that's because there's like a style Afrobeat. Do you know a guy called Fela Kuti? So like one of the like early originators of like Afrobeat. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
Very cool. And actually, it really, really grinds my gears because I gave that album that I had to my sister's ex-boyfriend for some reason. I liked him, I guess. I gave him like a bunch of my records when I moved to the US. And then it wasn't like 2 weeks had gone by that they split up and I never saw him again.
But can't you stream all this stuff now, though?
Yeah, but you know, if you don't get vinyl, you don't get vinyl. I guess.
No. I get vinyl. I'm just saying, like, you know,
you're right.
Can't be upset about it too much, right?
I mean, yeah, I suppose it's not that big of a deal. It was a really pretty album, though. I lost loads of good stuff. I lost all my drum and bass. It was a nightmare. Yeah. Oh well, life goes on. So, well, in terms of your original music, there's one other tune out there, right? Than the ones we talked about.
Well, actually, there's two. So I released a Christmas song.
Yeah.
I released one version in 2020, I think, and it was produced by me, I think. And this is so far back to 2020. And then I redid it with my vocal coach, and he helped me produce it. Cool. And that's the one that's on YouTube right now. And it's actually like my most successful song for some reason.
Well, Christmas, man, you know.
Yeah. I know. So I'm going to be doing some promotions for it when Christmas starts to come around, which is very soon.
Oh,
and
easy, slow roll. It's still Halloween.
All right. Yeah.
This one loves Halloween.
Yeah. And there I actually sing whistle tones. Oh no, I just belt really high in that song. Yeah. Oh no, I do. I sing some whistle tones in that song. And then the second song that I have out is called Crocs. And it's called High Heel Crocs.
Okay.
And that came about because I had an argument with my dad. I love my dad. He's a part of my life. So yeah.
I'm gonna listen to a little bit of High Heel
Crocs. He didn't believe me when I said I had high heel Crocs, but I had these like slippers that were Crocs and they had like a heel. So I just called them high heel Crocs,
right?
You know? And then at the time I was writing a song that was like, feeling good in my skin, feeling good in my color, feeling good in my hair, more curly than others, feeling good in my race, the human race. And when I walk outside, I feel no shame.
Yeah.
And it was a rap song. Oh, here we go.
Wake up in my bed this morning.
Yeah.
My dad is snoring. Take a little while to do my hair. I leave it all out.
This is a jam.
I think it's quite dashing. Sorry, not so basic, not cussing. Put a smile on because they're bringing the flavor.
Wicked. So, are you like basically rapping through that whole song?
Yeah, the verses are raps, and then the chorus was what I just sang. And I actually, when I was in basketball, I was playing varsity basketball my junior year, I think, and I sang the verses in the locker room before a game, and everyone was going crazy. It was so cool. They were like, beat.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, man. It must be fun going to the school you're at because there's so many creative people around all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that that's like true? Did you find that you get together with people at school a lot and like do different creative things?
I would say I got together with a lot of. So I went to Bach, and most of my friends went to Dreyfus afterwards.
Right.
And my best friends to this day still,
right.
I would like call and like share my music with them, and they would help me collab. But the school I went to was mostly academic.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't very creative in nature.
Right.
But the program I was in had some really great people.
Nice.
Still, I just connected more with my best friends. So
yeah, it's really tough to like Hector was saying. It sounds like it's like, you know, unless you're at somewhere that does it, it's tough these days.
Yeah.
So where I went to school was a boarding school, right? It was in Dorset in south of England, and it was this big old country house, and that's what all the school used to be. But slowly they kept adding these like satellite buildings, and when I went there, they'd built the music department, which was just this whole own separate, like, 2 buildings. And just through a mixture of kind of deviousness and belligerence, I managed to get to the point where I almost did nothing else but music. You weren't really allowed to do that, but somehow I managed to, instead of sports, I managed to, like, do music. I had to do music. It was great. So in a way, I did go to a music school, but one of my own making.
That's great.
I just stayed in the music school.
Never left.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you do your original stuff. I know you do some cover stuff, and then you do musical theater as well.
Yes.
Which direction do you kind of like the most? As far as like, do you like performing just songs and singing and stuff, or do you like more of the acting and singing and musical theater?
I think what draws me, just like my soul just needs to perform.
Yeah.
I think that there's such an important thing that music does, to like, challenge people and, bring them together and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think theater and music both do that.
Yeah.
Theater, I haven't seen directly because I just started like in basically high school, and
Right.
but for the community theaters that I have done and participated in, it's really amazing.
Yeah.
I love all the connections I've made, and like I love making people cry in the audience as well.
I can relate to that.
And then for like just performing just songs individually, I think there's an importance in that as well.
Yeah.
It's a little more well, for me, I've mostly been on my own for that because I don't have a band.
Yeah.
One day I'd love to have a band. I just haven't found those people, and all my friends are in college right now. I'm taking a gap year. So,
Yeah.
but theater does give you that kind of community, and it's awesome to be on stage with other people and share that experience.
Yeah, man. But I mean, this place is a music school. We might be able to help you out with the band, maybe. I don't know, because of people lying around. So, something you said earlier that I thought was interesting was you said that music and theatre can challenge people, and that to me is important to recognize young, and not everyone realizes that that's part of music's job, but it really is. And for me it's probably its most important job. It's art at the end of the day. And and I appreciate that you said that, because there's plenty of musicians out here who are just like, oh, we're just entertainers. You're missing the whole point if that's what you think. You know what I mean? It's like there's you can use music to share your point of view, perspective, whatever that might be. It might be to make someone happy or make someone sad, but it also might be to, express something that you think is wrong with the world,
Yeah, definitely.
Have you got any desires to do some like edgy music like that?
Ooh, I think my approach to challenging people is to show the better side than to say the you're wrong side.
I respect that.
I think that's what I was trying to do with I Miss You Like Crazy. Just to show people, like, challenge them with like the other part of me, because I'm mixed. I have like a very diverse family. My grandma's British, my mom is Jamaican, my dad's Trinidadian, and I have uncles in Scotland and wherever. So I really love that everyone has their own thing. I just want to show that there's like a whole world,
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. I was born and brought up in the UK, and in the UK there's a big Jamaican community in South London and all over the country now. But that was a huge part of my musical upbringing, was listening to reggae and the way that reggae intersected with punk and all that kind of period of time. That's really like what I'm basically still doing now. So when it comes to promoting your music online, is this something that is this a part of like how you're doing this whole thing? Are you doing any online promotion and, like all the social media nonsense you got to do?
Promoting myself online isn't my favorite thing in the world.
I feel that.
It's not anybody's.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing. As far as promotion, I try to get my SEO on YouTube.
Yeah.
I try to, post. I try to post, but creating videos and, even like just record lip syncing the video to create a music video is a whole art within itself.
It is.
Like it's just so much. I wish I had like a team or something, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. I think that we're expected to do so much as musicians these days. It's just unbelievable. It never ends. You know, there's always some other thing you've all of a sudden got to become an expert in.
Yeah.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, though. You know, like it's so easy to put music out there now that in order to stand out, you have to go the extra mile and do the music videos and do all the promotion and do all the stuff that you didn't have to do before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as creating a brand for the social media, that's been hard for me as well because I have so much love for all different types of music, like the rap, the Afrobeat kind of thing. I like releasing sad songs. I like writing pop. You know, I need to, or maybe I don't need to, but I think I should find a style and stick with it for a few songs instead of like switching back and forth and all that, and creating the artwork for each post as well as a whole nother thought process. And
you know what? Sometimes I thought about this a lot because I have a very diverse music catalog as well. And one of the things that I think is okay is that fact. I think if you're getting to the point with it where you don't see that there's some kind of genre coalescing, then just make that what you are. You know what I mean?
I was actually going to say the exact same thing. Like, not having a specific genre is your genre.
Yeah, you know? yeah. It's definitely possible. It's a lot, you know, it might be a little bit more difficult to promote, but, you know, I think you could just approach it as like, you're promoting yourself as a personality, as a person who sings different things. You know what I mean? You don't even necessarily need to pigeonhole it. It's something that's driven me mad for years and years because I have the same problem, and I've just kind of embraced it at this point.
Well, you're also getting started, so I you know, there's also some reality in that as you move forward and as you start writing more and more and more stuff, that you'll kind of find your way. You'll find your place.
Yeah, I think so.
You'll find where you're comfortable.
Yeah, that's a fair point. The more you do it, absolutely. So, why don't we listen to you sing us a couple of songs? Sound good?
Okay, sure.
Cool.
Standing on the platform, watching you go. It's like no other pain that I've ever known. To love someone so much, to have no control. You said I want to see the world, and I said, go. But I think I'm lost without you. I just feel crushed without you. I've been strong for so long, I never thought how much I needed you. But I think I'm lost without you. Strangers rushing past, just trying to get home. You were the only safe haven I've ever known. Hits me at full speed, feel like I can't breathe, and nobody knows this pain inside me. My world is crumbling. I should have never let you go. just feel crushed without you. I've been strong for so long, I never thought how much I love you. Standing on the platform, watching you go. You said I wanna see the world, and I said, go. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, whoa, 'cause you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing, and you say I am strong when I think I am weak, and you say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, oh, 'cause you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing, and you say I am strong when I think I am weak, and you say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Ooh, oh, 'cause you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing, and you say I am strong when I think I am weak, and you say I am held when I am falling short, and when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours.
Oasis Root Kava Bar is in Sea Grape Square on Indiantown Rd. And it is a kava bar. If you don't know anything about kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water. And it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, there's sort of like blacklight and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby foot as they call it in France. Yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Root. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band Unemployed Youth accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue. We can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in and it was a real success. Outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. All right, so we just listened to an ad for Live Music Community. It's where we're sat right now. It's a music school, among many other things. It's a music school. And so we like to ask our guests, do you have any advice for young or upcoming musicians?
I think be as consistent as you can be with the promotion, and the more consistent you are, the more work you get done and less time, and the more you learn. Yeah. And also just stay true to who you are and nice to other people.
Yes, that is great advice.
That's a really good advice.
Because, if you're good to people on the way up, they'll be good to you on the way down. And the thing is, everyone has ups and downs. It might not even just be like what, the road is usually pretty windy and weird, and you find yourself getting up a bit and then down and then up a bit again. So just as long as you're nice, just don't burn those bridges. That's a great piece of advice. I 100% agree with that. I've seen it go very right for people in that regard and very wrong for people. Turn around.
You got to look at me when you say that. I feel called out.
No, it's great advice. So, why did you choose those songs to sing us today?
Why I love Lost Without You is one of the first songs I sang that was in a contemporary style, and it's a cover song that helped me through a really hard time in my life. I feel like a lot of people lost their loved ones in quarantine due to COVID and stuff. And
sure,
I was one of them.
I'm sorry.
And I just really love listening to that Lost Without You over and over. So I actually released a cover and it has a music video, and it's on YouTube. I released it recently. And then the second one, You Say, I would say has the same thing. I pick cover songs that really speak to me and that help me,
Yeah.
And I think that's what I want to do with my music, to like help other people.
Sure, absolutely. No, that's, but there's no better reason to play a cover than you really love it. In fact, should there ever be any other reason? I think that's perfect. Yeah, and COVID was, it was a tough time. You look back, right? Sometimes you forget all that nonsense happened, and then every now and again you remember and be like, wow, that was a crazy year.
It was a crazy year.
My grandmother had just gone into an old people's home, a care home, like just before all that happened. And then for the whole period of that, she was stuck in this place, and we couldn't we couldn't communicate with her as much as we'd like to, or we'd go and visit her as much as we'd like to. And every time we did, we had masks on. And I just felt like it was really hard for her, it was terribly hard for her. But, yeah, it was a crazy time. I wrote a couple of songs out of it there. So.
Yeah, same.
There's a lot of music that came out of it, though, because there were so many people just locked up at home, and everybody learned how to use video software, and everybody learned how to use recording software.
Yeah,
and
totally.
Everybody started putting out music, except me. I was lazy. I didn't do it.
So do you know how to use music software to make music?
Yeah, so I know how to use GarageBand.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do. But as far as the other ones like FL Studios, and I haven't paid for them.
Yeah.
I've used what's the one that's like GarageBand? Logic.
That's my
yes.
baby. Logic is my baby.
I know how to use Logic because my friend Mia has Logic on her computer. So she came over like one day and I played around with it. It was just like GarageBand.
It is, exactly. It's like GarageBand, but it just has, like, when you hit that wall with GarageBand where you want to do something but you can't, in Logic you can.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only difference. But, yeah, that's really good to hear. And like, as time goes by, I think you'll find that a valuable resource, because it's great to just be able to make songs yourself, build up demos yourself without having to rely on anyone else. And if you can play the keys, then, you're good to go then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because MIDIs can be anything.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Was it Kanye West who said that, I know it's kind of gone bonkers these days, but whatever. But it was him who said the guitar is a terrible instrument. There's like, you can make a sound any guitar could make in FL Studio in about 2 minutes, and he's kind of right in a way.
Yeah.
Except I don't know. I like the terrible sounds that guitars make, so I'm sticking to them. So, have you got? I'm just curious. I'm just throwing this out there. Have you got any sort of piece of musical equipment that you like love or use the most?
I have a AKG microphone that's like gold.
Yeah. Cool.
I love it because it's gold, not because it has any sort of like amazing
Sounds
qualities.
a bit more similar than I realized. Yeah. That's why I would love it too.
Yeah. That, and I also try to take really good care of my headphones, because I bought these really expensive headphones one time.
Yeah.
And the jack got messed up. And I will never forget, like, it was so expensive and I felt terrible because we had to go and buy another one. So now I like take care of my equipment. So I think I love all of my equipment equally.
Oh, well, that's cool. Keep it in a cool, dry place, as they say. Mm-hmm. It's important. Yeah, I just got some really expensive headphones too. Got these ones that emulate all these different studio spaces, so you can mix just in the headphones. It's rad. They're my babies. And at one point, part of it did start to break a little bit, and now no one can use them except for me. I'm very strict about it. Yeah. So have you got anything coming up? Is there anything on the horizon for you?
Yes, I'm about to release an original song. I actually wrote this song for a musical I was in.
Oh, cool.
School of Rock.
Yeah.
I didn't know going into the musical that I would have to write a song, because the director was just kind of like, you write music, so I was thinking you can throw in a song at the end of the show for us, and we'll surprise everybody.
Yeah.
And the musical had live instruments. You were there.
Yeah.
It had a live band, and I've never been in a musical with that's a lie, actually. I did a musical before with a live pianist, but it was just piano.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a rock band.
Sure.
Brilliant.
So I wrote the song and I got to hear my song on real instruments
That's cool.
and perform it every single night. And that song is going to come out and nobody's heard it except everyone who came and watched the show.
Really?
Yeah, it was like she said, it was really fun to like, you know, the show itself is just like the movie. I mean, it's almost word for word.
Sure.
But it was really cool to see the kids in the show playing the instruments. And from what I understand, you know, my sister was in the show as well, and she was telling me that some of those kids didn't play instruments normally. Like they learned their parts for the show.
Oh, cool.
Like they picked up the instruments and learned their parts for the show, which was amazing.
Some people didn't even know how to read music, but they know how to play an instrument.
And at the very end, you know, they're doing curtain call and everything, and then they bring her out and she performs her original song at the very end of the show, which was amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah, man. Having worked at School of Rock for a decade, I something's weird about me going to watch something called School of Rock. It's like my old place of work, but it was based on the same place too. It's crazy. But that's awesome. So you got this song coming out. What's the date of that? Do you know?
I don't know just yet, but I'll definitely let you guys know.
So everyone's get ready.
Get ready.
No sleep until it comes out. Right. Yeah. So
it's coming out in 2026.
Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. You're really, really super nice, and you sing like an angel. And thanks for coming on and doing that for us. And I really wish you all the best luck in the world. And not that you'll need it, because all you got to do is work hard. You're going to be fine. So
thank you.
Just keep it up. And before we get out of here, you wanted to say one or two things about the festival, right?
Yeah. I've been getting a lot of text messages and phone calls and emails and smoke signals and telegraphs and whatever else about the festival. Yes, there's going to be a fourth festival. It is locked in to April 5th. Venue is not disclosed yet, but I promise you it is going to be pretty epic and it's going to be pretty awesome.
It's not that there isn't one, it's that it's secret.
It's secret. And I'm working diligently this week to get all of the website and everything going so that we're going to do things a little bit different this year. I'm going to open up the website, if not the end of this week, probably by Monday at the latest. I'm going to open up the website to submissions, and whether or not you've been on the podcast, please, if you want to play in the 4th annual 561 Music Festival, submit your band. Worst thing that can happen is that you don't submit, and if you don't submit, you can't get picked.
Yeah, we've been submitting to us. Well, you've been submitting our band to all sorts of different
we get rejected all the time, but I promise you there are some of them that I submit to and it's a long shot and I don't expect it, and then suddenly we get a phone call and we're like, holy crap, we're playing this festival, or we're playing this event.
Definitely worth doing. If you don't try, you don't know.
So please submit. If whether you've been on the podcast or not, please submit. In the past, the criteria has been that you had to have been on the podcast, so we're doing things a little bit different this year. Submit. I'm going to open submission, like I said, probably Monday. I'm going to open it through the end of November, and then we have a committee we're going to put together, and sometime in December, they're going to pick the bands. We're going to do the same thing, 2 stages, 20 bands all day. We're going to have the 20 bands picked in December. They will be notified, and then we'll start promoting, 1st of January. But if you have been on the podcast, fantastic, and you get picked for the festival, fantastic. If you get picked for the festival and you have not been on the podcast, no sweat. That's why we're doing it this early. You still have January, February, and March, and we'll get you on the podcast. And then you'll qualify. So yeah, it's a little bit different this year. But the festival, I promise you, it's bigger, it's better. Different venue. It's going to be amazing. So submit. You're going to want to be there. It's going to be pretty epic.
Yeah, man. Can't wait. The 4th one.
Yeah.
How well is that?
Yeah. And as far as tickets go, once everything is done and bands are announced, etc., we're going to do tickets a little bit differently this year too. In the past, we've kept the tickets to $10 because we've been really trying to make it affordable for everyone to enjoy 20 bands, and 50 cents a band, you can't go wrong. This year, we're going to keep it at $10 as pre-sale. at some point we're going to cut off that pre-sale and it's going to go up. And I think it's going to go up to either like $15 or $20. So you're going to want to get on that pre-sale. And we're also going to have shirts and everything just like we usually do. And you can buy the packages with the shirts and everything. So
I mean, if not just for our own peace of mind, seeing those pre-sale tickets is just like that really helps with the anxiety.
Let me tell you, there's nothing like, we've had the last, all three festivals have been amazing. The last two have been just like ridiculous. Like we've had, well over 700 people in attendance and stuff, and which is amazing for the smaller size venue we had. And showing up on the day of the event with like 50 tickets pre-sold, that's a lot of anxiety, man.
Yeah.
Everybody shows up day of, because we always kept the tickets the same price all the way up to the day of. So people just waited.
Yeah.
But
I would have done the same.
Yeah, there's various reasons why we're changing venues. Huge shout out and huge thank you to Matthews Brewing for being there for us for the first three. It's been amazing. Our biggest reason for changing is we're not going to have any rain issues, and I'll leave it at that. I will give you more details as more details pop up, and once the bands get announced, we'll be announcing the venue. Maybe before that, I don't know. But yes, the biggest takeaway from this though is submit. We're going to have the link out there by Monday. Submit to this festival. I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed.
Man.
We've had 3 very hugely successful festivals. Everybody that's played it has loved it. Everybody wants to come back. Whether you've played it before, whether you haven't played it before, just submit. And we're going to have in the past, Ben and I have picked everything. We're going to try to take some of that burden off of us.
And
Ben gets no say at all. We're going to try to take some of that burden off of us. We'll be on the committee, obviously, but we're going to have a committee of like 4 or 5 people that are going to.
I already know who all those people are.
Everybody is going. Yeah, everybody's going to kind of go through and pick their top bands and stuff, and then we're going to put it together. I'm kind of taking a page out of Podcast Mom, out of Kim's book.
Right.
That's the way Kim does it. That's the way Kim has done it for a few of her festivals. She gets like an independent committee and they do their thing. And that way the weight and the pressure of why didn't I get picked is off of her.
Oh, well, now I get it.
Get it?
Now I get it.
Why didn't I get picked doesn't have to fall on us now.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because there's a lot of bands and we only have 20 slots. Okay. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, totally. Well, listen, Kiara, thanks again for coming. Kiara Binah, you got to check her out. She's on Apple Music, she's on Spotify, she's on YouTube, she's all over that stuff. There's some really great music up there, and it's been an honor to interview you, and thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And let's get out of here.
Let's do it. All right, peace out.
Take a better scene. It's what we're doing.